still on mute there, Don. Good to go.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. It's 4 o'clock. We will go ahead and call the meeting to order. I'll ask for roll call. Councillor Webster,
Present.
Councillor Humphreys,
Present.
Councillor Carew,
Present.
and did Glenn didn't make it yet? Okay. And I'm present. Declaration of pecuniary interest? None. Confirmation of council agenda. Is there anything to add, Hope, at all?
No, there's nothing to add to the agenda.
Okay. Councillor Webster, you move that?
I move.
Second? Councillor Humphreys?
Second it, yes. Present.
Oh, did I not ask you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just want to check on you.
Okay, right on. Okay, Councillor Webster,
In favor.
Councillor Humphreys,
In favor.
Councillor Carew,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. We have a public meeting tonight over a minor variance. And Councillor Carew, if you would take that forward, please.
Okay, thank you. So tonight's meeting is a committee of adjustment, 4 o'clock today, and call to order. Do I have to call, hope I call all the, or since we did it, do I have to do it again?
You should do it again because it's its own separate meeting. So we'll call to order and we'll also note the members of the public that are present.
Okay. Mayor Bennett,
Present?
Councillor Webster,
Present.
Councillor Humphreys,
Present.
and sorry, we have Donna Wright from public.
Present.
And also Jeff Anistrom, if I said it right.
Present.
Okay. And for tonight's, sorry, in item number 2, on declaration of pecuniary interest. Seeing none. Okay, so item 3, item 01-24 for Edgar and Lillian Anistrom, and I guess CO Jeff Anistrom, for the purpose of the public meeting 3.1. I'll pass it to Nikki.
Nikki, do you want to read it out?
Yeah, sure. So the purpose of the minor variance is that the property is zoned limited service residential under the comprehensive zoning bylaw 2010-14, section 3.828D states a minimum water setback of 20 meters for all buildings and structures, including private sewage disposal systems from the high water mark, shall be provided for lakes and rivers. The applicant is proposing to reduce the water setback from 20 meters to 16 meters, construct in addition to the single-family dwelling for residential purposes. The applicant has contracted a registered land surveyor to ensure the elevation level has been met.
Thank you. Notice of method. Sorry, I believe this is Hope, I guess, not Nikki. I apologize.
That's okay. We just want to keep things rolling smoothly.
Keep you on your toes.
So notice of this public meeting was sent by regular mail to the 10 property owners within a 60-meter radius required as per the Planning Act legislation. And to date, we haven't received any written comments or concerns in objection necessarily or in favor. And we do have a member of the public here present, Miss Donna Wright, just to provide any information that she may have explained to me on the phone. I just wanted to keep her apprised of the application. So she is here present as well with us.
Okay, thank you. Item 3.3, any questions from council at this point? Councilor Humphries?
Just wanted to ask where the existing septic tank is on that property according to the picture here.
Oh, it's in the back
Okay,
by the access road.
okay,
The back and the back corner of the house, not, okay. If you're looking from the water,
Okay.
from the front of the house at the water line, it would be on the right at the back.
okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, I think no other questions. Do you have any comments in support? Jeff, do you have any comments you'd like to add?
Well, I don't know if you need any information from me. I'll give whatever you need, you know. I did all the requirements that they asked me to do. And I brought in a surveyor. I got a septic analysis. I meet all the requirements except for
Okay.
the one setback at the corner. And it's because at Donna's property, the water, it's like a little inlet. So that brings me short right there. It's
Okay.
like it
No,
brings
and that-
me right to the very outside corner of my building, you know?
Okay, no, that's perfect. Sorry to cut you off. This problem with Mayor Bennett's Zoom versus in public is a lot easier. Yeah, if anything else to add in support of the application, I think if not, we can move on to comments in opposition.
Well, I'm doing the addition because I'm building an in-law suite to accommodate my mom and dad. I don't want to put them in an old folks home. And they can't live on their own anymore. And that's why I need to put the addition on. And if I can't build the addition, I'm going to have to sell my property and look somewhere else. It's really down to that. Because especially with the COVID, I'm not going to throw my mom and dad into a retirement home at this point.
Okay, no, and that's good comments and support. And if any comments in opposition, maybe Donna, if you have any comments in
Well,
opposition or.
Yeah, the only thing, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we understand that this application is for a minor variance, okay, to reduce the water setback from 20 to 16 meters or otherwise 13 feet. I'm a feet person rather than meters. And in reviewing the plan, it's with the numbers that have been provided by Jeff, it's kind of difficult, but nevertheless. However, it appears that this variance, if it's approved, the intention is to add living space for his parents, as he's mentioned, plus a garage to the existing house. Now, our main concern is that the proposed new building complies with your bylaws and that we have the required distance between the new building, including any drainage from our property. And when we purchased our property, there's a retaining wall between Jeff's property and ours. And Jeff has indicated to us that he's been thinking, I know this doesn't pertain to the minor variance, but he's been proposed to replace that retaining wall with stones. So I'm thinking that if he's still going to do that, that he should be doing it before he actually does the construction. And of course, as we all know, we have to remember the flooding that we've had in 17 and 19 and hope we don't have that again. Otherwise, we just hope that this project is successful for everyone.
Well, and I'll answer Donna's question. I plan on raising my land up even higher. So I was gonna do all that at the same time, and I talked to Corey Shield about doing that, and he said it's better to do that after you finish your construction. I'll come in, I'll do your landscaping, we'll put whatever we need up, and that'll be done. So I've already talked to Corey about doing that.
Jeff, are you going to be able to take out what's there and reinstall your new wall from
Yes.
your side, once you've done once you've done your construction?
Yes, I was either gonna do it one or two ways, and that I was gonna talk to you and Richard about. Either whatever way you guys were happy with, I'm either gonna put a stone wall with those big square stones, or I'm gonna put a hill. Either way, I'm well with. You know, like at the front corner where I have the hill,
Yes,
I'll do a hill or I'll do a stone wall. But I wanna raise my land, so I have to do it properly. I have to do that.
but it's just, you can't come in from our side because our side is so much lower than yours and down. So I mean, if you brought any kind of heavy equipment in there, we would have a terrible mess.
No, they won't come in from your side. They'll come in from my side. And
Okay,
they'll
okay.
do it with they'll do it with backhoes.
Yeah.
The same way they did Andrea's wall, you know?
Oh, I wasn't there when they did it.
Okay. Yeah, they just lift them in place on a backhoe and put them in place, and that's all.
Okay, not a problem then. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, sorry. Okay, that's perfect. Any questions from the committee members? Mayor Bennett?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the minor variance. I realize that. I do have a little bit of concern with the lot being raised, and that the water cannot, the water that normally on that property has to stay on that property.
Yeah,
It
no,
can't be forced onto the neighbor's property.
well, the neighbor beside me, he raised his land up 4 feet. So I'm already lower than the guy beside me. So I'm just gonna even it out. You know, once I put the addition, I've got to do some type of landscaping. So I'm not gonna come up 4 feet, but I'm gonna do it properly. I have to, just to accommodate the build.
Okay, so you're taking the excess water that's on your property right now, I presume, down the ditch line so that the water that's normally landing on your property is staying on your property and draining to river then. Is that correct?
Well, I'll have Corey drain it properly. I'm not a landscaper, but Corey Shield at Castleford, he'll drain it however you want it drained.
Yeah, yeah, and if I can add, and that will be processed to the building permit, is correctly hope?
Yeah, exactly.
One other thing we need to remember is that we have that swamp behind us, Jeff. And of course, you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
And that drains, whatever is going to get drained off your property, if that goes down into that swamp, then that all drains down through our property into the Ottawa River.
The way I'm going to do it, Donna, it's not going to drain. There's not going to be no more water than there already is. There's
Okay.
not going to, you know,
Yeah,
I want my property to slope to the front, not to the back.
and sorry, if I can add, yeah, and then that'll be all taken up at the building permit process.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do we have any more questions to do with the minor variance? Okay, seeing none. Okay, I guess we're on to the decision. Counselor,
Oh, sorry. Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Oh,
I was just going to read the resolution that was
Oh,
prepared.
yes, yeah.
Be it resolved that the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Horton approve the minor variance application A01-2021 Edgar and Lillian Nystrom, care of Jeff Nystrom, in regards to the water setback.
Do I have a mover? Mayor Bennett? Seconder? Counselor Humphries? And Counselor Webster?
In favor?
Counselor Humphries? Oh, you're on mute.
In favor?
Mayor Bennett?
I'm in favor.
And I'm in favor.
Gary.
Okay, passed. Well, thanks everyone for coming, and we're adjourning the public meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, there he is.
So for our next delegation, I've got the team from Cogeco in, so I'll admit them one by one, and then I guess Mayor Bennett, it's back under you.
Yep, right done.
So the team from Cogeco is on for the delegation starting at 4:15. If a member, I've got the ability to, if you guys want to share your screens, if there was any more information that you wanted to provide to council or provide the same information, by all means, you can certainly do that. Just letting you both know.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello.
So Bruce is, whoops. Okay, he's already sharing his screen.
There. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to turn the floor over to Cogeco to just bring anything forward that we may have not reviewed the last meeting, so that we can, and then I'll open up the floor to council and move on from there. So I'm not sure whose screen I got right now. So if whoever wants to take the lead, welcome, and go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. It's Bruce Pearson, and I apologize. I'm having a little trouble with my camera, but I gather you can see my screen. We had talked previously about finding a route to place additional fiber cable between our receive site on the top of Pinnacle Hill out to both out to Highway 60 and to Pinnacle Road. We became aware in our early research that there was a existing Township of Horton right-of-way, an unopened road allowance that ran basically Elliott Crescent and then straight up and across the area in question. Our head end is located right here. The existing service comes down the side of the mountain aerially and goes on a private pole line as I'm drawing my mouse. That pole line is at capacity now, and there's really no opportunity to add anything to it. And it is also, let's say, precarious because of it's located right against the edge of the forest. And there is a large amount of tree encroachment onto the line. One tree at the wrong time at the wrong place, and we are going to lose all of Cogeco's services throughout the Ottawa Valley, which is not attractive to either of us. We had asked for the council to take into consideration our request for accessing the road allowance. This portion of the road allowance to place buried facilities. We would actually request permission to place facilities on both sides of this particular road allowance, so that we're fully covered for present and future needs. We would be placing one cable starting from Highway 60 to Pinnacle Road. From Pinnacle Road and up, we would be placing the facilities for 2 fiber cable runs. And I realize it's a little difficult to see this. I'll try to do my best. To somewhere in this area of the road allowance. We would then leave the road allowance and create a completely diverse path up to our receive site at the top of the mountain. Purpose is twofold. One is to provide diversity. Diversity is key in this day and age. It basically is an approach where we have the technology and cable capacity to route our telecom traffic in more than one direction or in more than one cable. So at this time, we would maintain the existing feed, which comes up here up to our mountaintop site, but we would look for a completely diverse route as well, so that it's fail-proof, basically. The second, so there's a diversity need, and there's also a reinforcement need. The reinforcement is to handle our service additions that we are trying to provide to the area, both to the town of Renfrew, the township of Horton, and McNabb Braeside. We need, in very simple terms, we need a bigger pipe up to the head end to be able to handle the especially the internet traffic that we are experiencing under these trying times. And I don't think that we're going to see a significant reduction in traffic when the COVID pandemic is dealt with. I think that a lot of people will continue to maintain a work from home presence, and we need to be able to support them. And that's it in a nutshell. I'm certainly open to answering any questions or giving you any further information in that regard.
Okay, I got one opening question, then I'll stop and leave my counterpart ask question. But the land that you're leaving off the right of way, but you already have a lease on that land headed to the top of the mountain after you leave the right of way?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct, sir.
Okay, and have you spoken to any of the landowners along this right of way right now at all?
No, we have not. We felt that that we would at least need an agreement in principle before the council and I discussed next steps as far as who manages what as far as contacting local property owners.
Okay, I do have some other questions, but council, would you like to ask some questions? Councillor Webster, now, sorry, council, I only, because we're on a shared screen, I can only see a couple of people. So Councillor Webster to start with, please.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Is within the agreement, is there going to be some type of clause in there that the roadway is going to be established back to or in better shape than it was found in? As in, because I see you're digging on both sides of the road, head not past Pinnacle, that, you know, that's going to do a lot of subsurface damage to that road. And then how we guarantee that that road's going to be maintained or in better shape than it was prior to allowing you to do this?
Good question, sir. Two things to mention in that. First of all, is that we would be placing the vast majority of this plant if with using horizontal directional drilling wherever possible. So we would only be digging access pits and would be placing pipe underground with horizontal drilling machines. Typically, we would be able to go somewhere between 250 and 350 meters of boring without disturbing the surface at all. That is certainly our desire. However, regardless of whatever method of excavation we have to take, based on local conditions, it would be restored to as found or better condition. And we would certainly speak to that in our request for permit.
Great, thank you.
Council? Deputy Mayor Campbell? Turn your mic on, Glenn, please.
Finally got on. Now I want to talk. Hello, Mr. Pearson. You've answered one or two of my questions. I guess what kind of time frame from start to finish are you looking at for, for the allowance of from Highway 60 to Pinnacle Road and Pinnacle Road to your final destination?
We would propose starting in the spring. This is certainly not a project that we would like to undertake in winter frost condition. And we would estimate that from receipt of permit, it would take us approximately 1 month to 6 weeks to construct. During that time, we would provide any traffic management requirements and would not impede access to any of the properties through our work.
Okay, and the makeup of the infrastructure, you're talking a two-pipe system of size and depth?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, we're not absolutely locked in on the final technology that we would be deploying, but what we're talking about in general terms would be 1 or 2 2-inch HDPE vinyl pipes on each side of the road. In the standard road allowance area, we would be looking at a minimum depth of 1 meter. Where we are crossing what I see is now used as a field, we would certainly look to achieve a minimum 5 to 6 feet of depth, or 2 meters, close to 2 meters in depth, to protect ourselves from any possible damage by agricultural activities.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And I'd stop sharing my screen, guys, but I don't know how.
We got a Cogeco guy who don't know how.
I'm learning each of the different platforms that we have to work on by baptism by fire. This is the first time I've used Zoom. I'm good on, I'm good with Google and Teams, but not Zoom.
At the bottom of your screen, there's a big share. If you scroll down to the bottom,
Okay.
it should pop up and should be a green share icon.
I might be actually able to boot him off.
Oh, I see it now. It's actually at the top of my screen. That's why I was
okay.
looking at the bottom. So I apologize for that.
There we go.
There we are. That's what threw me off. I was
Any other comments from council? Councilor Carew.
Yes, and thank you for doing the presentation. Has Cogeco thought about with this project expanding, for example, up Pinnacle at all, to service the residents? Just over the last few years, we've been this council has been agreeing with the old railway track, like the trail that Cogeco added on, and then now this one. Just we haven't seen anything, any other over the years, any investment other than backbone from Cogeco in Horton Township. We've seen a lot of funding in other municipalities around us. Just wondering if you guys have thought about investing in Horton more than just backbone.
If I could answer that, I'm not sure, sir, if you received the map that I sent out showing areas of Horton Township that we did service.
Yeah.
And I
did.
think they're, oh, you did, thank you. So there was certainly some issue as a general misunderstanding of what we may or may not do. What I would propose to you is, now that you have this level of information, I'm hoping that you've been able to eliminate some of the questions from your constituents. What I would propose to the township is that we would be more than happy to entertain, look at a business case, check viability, et cetera, to continue expansion in other areas. It has to be, as you can appreciate, for us, it has to be financially viable. The rule of thumb is that clusters of homes we can typically do a case for if there's, as an example, homes on each side of the road no more than a couple of 100 meters apart. We're starting to speak about the density per plant kilometer of being able to justify something. The one-offs that are here and there are really, really difficult to come up with any type of win-win modeling. What I would suggest is that I could be the main point of contact for any area that you would like investigated. We would certainly prepare a high-level review of it and come back to you and see if we can make it work. Again, it's a win-win for both of us. If the numbers line up, then we would love to have them as customers.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Humphreys.
What is the cost per kilometer of installing cable, let's say down Gillen Road, Humphreys Road, Johnson Road? Like, what is your cost per meter per kilometer to put in a unit if you have a main feed area?
When we are looking at that type of thing, we have a very high level rule of thumb, and that is approximately $72 per meter to place plant, either underground or aerial. The particular challenge that we face in Horton Township is the good Lord chose to leave a lot of rock on the way through when he was making land there, and that is an expensive thing to deal with. The other part of it is that, unfortunately, a lot of the existing aerial infrastructure, the hydro poles, are quite old and are not in suitable condition for attachment to.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bruce, it appears to me where you've chosen to use the road allowance to get up there. In future developments, this could actually be part of an expansion of residential use of that property. And the developer would want to use that right away. So I'm presuming you're doing underground where you can, and you will stay, give us a 30 foot or 35 foot platform for a road to go up the center, and you will be on the outskirts of that 66 feet. We just have as close as you can get to the property lines. And I presume that you are responsible for the survey to make sure you are in them property lines?
Yes, we would be responsible for any survey that is required to ensure that we're actually working within the road allowance. I would propose to you that without having, physically looked at it, what I would say to you is that typically what we try to do is work 1 meter off of the property line. So to allow as much of the area to be open for future access and development as possible.
Okay, that's one of the questions I had. The next question I have is right at the moment there seems to be after you sent us the paperwork, we know there's advantage to our ratepayers to allow Cogeco to to actually put their lines in here. I do not think that we are getting full benefit. So is there any financial interest in coming back to the township with some kind of fee?
That is a good question, sir, and well above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I do know that the CRTC has made a number of decisions where my understanding of the documentation and the application of that is an unfortunate no. But I would also be willing to take that up to our right-of-ways people and ask them to contact you directly.
We would appreciate that. We do feel that we kind of got shortchanged when Cogeco went down the Millennium Trail, and what was spoken to us when we first started talking with Cogeco was not really what came true in the end, but we proceeded anyway. So we would like that question answered because we're going to receive that question from the ratepayers also.
Okay.
So we need the answer, and we would prefer a check.
So would I.
Yeah.
I understand, Mayor, and I will address that. As I said, I will address that up to our legal and municipal relations group. I'll leave them to manage whatever solution there may be. I'll leave that up to them to negotiate with whoever you point me at.
Okay, well, that would definitely be Hope.
Okay.
She's the steering wheel of the organization, so
Okay.
we'll leave her command the ship.
Okay. I cannot make any commitment or any promises, and I do not understand the rules, but I can certainly escalate and have Hope contacted by our right-of-way people.
Okay, that's all I have for now, Bruce. I'm probably going to have a few more questions as we move along here. Councillor Humphreys hit it right on the head of what you can do for our ratepayers in this municipality and how it becomes financially feasible for you to do that, to provide that service. Because as you well know, with COVID, everybody's screaming for better internet. Even the ones that are serviced are struggling, and it's something that we need to do for our ratepayers to give them the best possible service we can provide. So we would appreciate anything you can do to work with us.
And I appreciate that, sir. And as I said, it's in our mutual interest. We have a set dollar amount that we were willing to automatically invest in every home passed. And we then are in a position to, in certain circumstances, we could work with the ratepayer to see if there's some compromise way that we can service them. But honestly, if we can make it make sense in our return on investment, we want them as a customer.
Okay, that's about all I have for questions. I'm going to open it up for one last time to council to see if there's something that may have popped up. Council? Everything's good for now by the looks of it, Bruce, and thank you for coming. We look forward to you coming back to us and with some information. And as you can tell, council's more than willing to work with Cogeco to service their part of Renfrew County, but we are more leaning towards serving the municipality and township of Horton. So,
understood
sorry,
fully.
Roland, go ahead.
Good evening, sirs. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Cogeco. On the back end, I manage some of the capacity, and right now at the present site, we are actually improving the infrastructure to actually put in bigger routers and spend over $250,000 to improve the services that will come down to all of the residents in Horton Township and around. So within the next couple of months, we're looking to make some major upgrades in the bandwidth and the speeds that would be available to the residents. So in this case, it is the fiber, that's the physical medium that's taken in. There's also upgrades into the logical medium of providing more routing and bandwidth and data coming in on the backbones to get in there. But as we aggregate all of the internet bandwidth from all of the different customers, we need the bigger pipes on the back end to feed them as well. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. But we are putting in a significant amount of money already into the Horton Township and the area around as well.
We as a council certainly appreciate that. We would be very pleased to go to our residents to tell them that we are getting them upgrades because it takes such a long time. They don't believe we're providing that service to them right at the moment. And the phone calls sometimes get carried away. So thank you for doing that. And we'll leave the people know that Cogeco is on board with us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Definitely, we look forward to speaking to you very shortly and hopefully get the project on equal ground here so we can move ahead. Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
Thank you.
Council. Thank you, Hope.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. We have the minutes of the previous meeting. And I need a mover and a seconder and then the individual council. Got a mover? Deputy Mayor Campbell, second Councillor Webster. Councillor Humphreys.
In favor?
Councillor Carew.
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor?
Councillor Webster.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Any business arising from the minutes? Councillor Humphreys.
Just a quick question. When we talked about the slip-in water tank, I noticed in the minutes, I wasn't referring to the old tank for surplus. I was just asking if there was a major grass fire and the slip-in tank was on a township truck, and Councillor Webster cleared that up, but in the minutes it had said that we'd offered to the fire department, but maybe we just should put it on surplus. So it should be checked first, but anyway, just want to clarify that comment in the minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Everybody's okay with that? Okay. Committee reports. Renfrew and Area Senior Home Support, Councillor Humphreys. You muted yourself, Doug.
Button.
There you go.
Yeah. There was no meeting, just a press release from Dennis Harrington, our lead man. And they have hired a new financial officer. Her name is Suzanne O'Ryan to replace Suze Neuter. And that will take place. They're working together right now to get things started. I don't know how COVID's going for them, but there's a little bit of sad news from the Golden Age activity. They thought they had a program coordinator hired, but she did not accept the offer. So they're going back to a new closing date of February the 12th, and then we're going to offer more money to keep in order with all the other areas in the Valley in Eastern Ontario. So that's all from Area Senior Hope Support and Golden Age Center. Thank you.
Any questions of Councillor Humphreys? No. Thank you, Doug. Community Safety Wellbeing Plan Committee, Deputy Mayor Campbell.
Okay, and I'm going to ask maybe Hope to jump in on this as well. I know Patrick Finnegan had sent out a online survey to all members to choose a monthly day for meeting. And that'll cover the next 4 months, I believe. So Hope, can you shed any light on that?
Yes, that's correct. Deputy Mayor Campbell, they did do that. There hasn't been any sort of email indicating the results of what the best preference for the time of the meetings were. But additionally, there's no other update at this time for that committee.
Okay, so yeah, so they're again, it's just they sent out the chart for the week, whether it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, morning or afternoons, what suited everyone best for 1 to possibly 3 hour meetings. And of course, I chose Friday afternoon. So, but we'll see how that goes and pan out, and hopefully it works to my favor. And if not, we may have to sit down and talk. So that's it.
Any questions, Deputy Mayor Campbell? None? Thank you. Health Service Village, I'm going to ask our clerk to actually put that on in a closed session for next council meeting. I know it's not committee, county council and committee reports, but there is some discussion I need to discuss with council, and it's identifiable. So I think we need to go in close to look after that. Okay. Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Humphreys.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bennett. Renfrew Area Chamber of Commerce. Right now, we're in a void of 6 vacancies to be on the board of directors, and that they're trying to round up people before the AGM. So there's been a lot of messaging going out and trying to get some new members on. We lost a couple members, moved away, and got more challenges at their workplaces. So we'll be looking for 6 members. So if you can think of anybody that would like to go on this organization, it's a very good organization, and I've enjoyed my last 2 years. And they asked me if I was coming back on, and I said, I expect so. I haven't been fired yet, so I will come back on. So, and that's all I have to report.
Right on. Thank you. Any questions of Councillor Humphreys? None? Thank you, Councillor Humphreys. County Council. I'm not trying to skip out tonight, but I am. We did have a budget meeting yesterday. There has not been time to present it to our staff, so that it can be released to council. So I'm going to ask her to actually do the same thing with County Council as we are with Health Services, and actually move it to the next council meeting so the documentation can be sent out to everybody to review before the council meeting, because it's 157 pages. So, and each page has some figures on there to represent the budget. So if you don't mind, I'll get it flipped over to staff and then sent out to you so you have time to review it before. And basically, that's all we have of County Council right at the moment. I will address everything, including the budget, at the next meeting then, if everybody's okay with it. Thank you. That ends the County Council and committees. Correspondence summary, information correspondence. Page 24. And Deputy Mayor Campbell will leave you lead the pack tonight.
Perfect. Let's start right in the middle. Number 3, the MMAH Municipal Modernization Program Intake, Part 2. I'm sure everybody's been looking at that, and I did have a few notes on it here. Again, supporting small and rural systems, $40 million up for grabs. Again, I always like to turn to our CAO and see what the news around the water cooler is. I'm sure she's heard something. I know when the first modernization program came through, we had lots of talk ahead of time. And has there been any dialogue, Hope?
Not really, other than what's been announced and what's in your package. So the intake that they're discussing, there are some priorities, I guess, that they're willing to support more than others, but that includes digital modernization, rather, service integration, streamlined development approvals, and shared services / alternative delivery models. So staff's gonna have to put their thinking caps on and see how we can access this funding and what works best for Horton Township.
Perfect. And again, it's one of those challenges we have when something like this comes up, to put our, again, as Hope has said, our thinking caps on and put our best foot forward. So I'm going to leave it at that, Mayor Bennett. I thought this is one of the, one of the most important programs that we've seen come out, at least in phase 1.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Campbell. Councillor Humphries.
Yeah, I found that on page 10 with the Renfrew County delegation meets with the Ministry of Health, Christine Elliott, to discuss Renfrew County VTAC and ongoing support and funding. And because of our primary care with no doctors in the area, I thought that Warden Robinson and Chief Nolan and Michael Dunning, of course, or John Yakubuski, were all involved in that. And I think we're getting a lot of support from the ministry. They see Renfrew County is leading the way with this virtual, with the VTAC and stuff. And I think it really helps. We've been on the map for a long time with our paramedics and stuff. And I think it's a real boost to see that. And we've got a good bunch of people working from the county on that with the Ontario government. So that, I found that was the best out of the whole information package. And I wanted to reply to that. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Carew.
Yeah, I just wanted to add the one thing, just the on page 8, from the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, is just the like to thank them for the few projects that they're proposing. It's definitely required, and we've seen it. With the pandemic, the big two ones are the GIG project and also the cell gap, and hopefully we can get funding hopefully in the next year or two.
Thank you, Councillor Carew. Councillor Webster.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Yeah, everything's been touched. Everybody's touched everything on the pages there. Agreement in Councillor Humphries in regards to the county delegation. That's all good news. So, and also the very first one, AMO policy update. So the announcement of the OSIF envelope coming out again, 200 million. That's great for us municipalities moving forward. But all good news, it looks like. Thank you.
So our delegations at county are being well heard at the conferences, and it has been very effective at the Eastern Ontario's Wardens Caucus, with Warden Robinson being the actual chair this year. Our county council is very pleased with what's happening, and the staff members that are guiding us forward. They're being heard, and invitations are being heard. Everything's on that delegation's agenda to make sure that everything's being touched when it gets there. So if they are doing a good job, and we as a council really got to recognize what amount of work is going into them delegations at county level. I also have to ask my council if we could probably try and get a little bit better representation, and that includes myself, at the upcoming conferences, because things have changed with the pandemic. There is different types of funding coming out. We do hear from the ministers, no doubt, very quickly on what is available to us, but we only catch the tip of the iceberg doing it that way. I think if the ears are on the presentation. We can probably pull out a lot more than we can pull out on paper afterward. And we can't expect our staff to guide us through everything. We need to do some of that ourselves. And I will admit that I haven't attended them like I should have. And I intend to make sure that we bring the voice back to this community by attending them from this point forward. That's all we have on information correspondence, action correspondence. We don't have any. Bylaws, Renfrew County Mutual Aid Agreement 2021-12. Hope.
So just in discussion with our fire chief, this is just a clerical cleanup that we're just updating our bylaw. The last bylaw that we had is from 1989. So we're just making ours a little bit more current and up to date. So I do have a resolution that council enact the following bylaw 2021-12 Renfrew County Mutual Aid Agreement.
I can get a mover now.
Mhm.
Councilor Carew, seconder. Deputy Mayor Campbell. Any discussion? Councilor Webster.
In favor?
Councilor Humphreys.
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor?
Councilor Carew.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Notice to file motion for next council meeting. I'll stroke that one off. One of these times I'll have enough magic marker, it won't get on to the next agenda. Council and staff members' concerns. None? Sorry, Hope, go ahead, please.
It's just an information piece for council. We are very close to having the budget ready to bring to our committees. We're just working on some year-end figures and working at our 10-year reserve schedule. But I will be following up very soon and sending out a Google poll like we did the last time, just to see what works best for everybody to have that morning session. And obviously we'll have to do it virtually this year rather than meet in person. But hopefully that will happen sooner than later, and we'll get our budget deliberations and have that budget passed sooner than last year. So I just wanted to let council know that it is being worked on, but we're not quite ready to bring it forward just yet.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to use this section for 1 minute. I do very much appreciate what our staff does, and I think every council member on here does. They're always on top of the situations and very willing to drop everything in order to get on top of the situation. So I do want to thank all of staff for all the work they're doing. It's very difficult to be split up the way we are right now, and there's much stress to the way we have to run things right now, and we're not the only ones, but staff is certainly doing an excellent job of keeping us together and making sure that we're well informed of what's happening. So thank you to the staff. Motion for reconsideration, debate on the motion to reconsider. Same magic marker. Got to have enough ink in it to get rid of two. Resolutions, Hope.
The council received the reports for community committees and county council as information.
Need a mover. Councilor Webster. Second by Councilor Carew. Councilor Humphreys.
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor?
Councilor Carew.
In favor.
Councilor Webster.
In favor?
And I'm in favor.
That council accept the CIO clerk's information memo for February 2nd, 2021.
Mover. Councilor Humphreys. Second. Deputy Mayor Campbell. Councilor Webster.
In favor?
Councilor Carew.
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor?
Counselor Humphries,
In favor?
and I'm in favor.
That council enact bylaw 2021-13 confirming bylaw.
That's all right. Okay, I'm just checking here. Counselor Webster,
In favor.
Oh, I need a mover and
I
a
need a
seconder.
mover first. You're moving it? And second, Deputy Mayor Campbell. Counselor Webster,
In favor.
Counselor Carew,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor.
Counselor Humphries,
In favor?
and I'm in favor. And that means we're adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. I think we asked the questions we needed to ask Cogeco to move them ahead. And I would hope when they come back that there's some favorable comments coming forward as we move along. And it's going to take a little while. I don't think we'll see that shovels in the ground this spring, especially when they got the survey and everything. But we'll work with them the best we can to make sure we get the best deal we can for our residents and certainly make it